RJ, mi hermano. How are you, brother? It's a pleasure having you back, man. This is not your first time on here.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here, bro. It's good to see you again. It's been a while, been a couple years.
A real life neighborhood hero, man.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Do you feel like one?
Not really. I mean, you know. Like what
I seen you come in here with the cape. What are you talking about?
Javier must have got it. I don't got the cape. Did it fall? You know what I'm saying? Maybe Brownie took it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
We should have Brownie pop in here. Say hi, you know.
Nah, for real though. Like, what was that for you, bro? Because it was like I was able to call you, and we had a great conversation, bro. We did. And it's always a pleasure, bro. But really, we were talking about how we wanted to do it again, because it's always a great time, bro. We've been cool for a while.
Yeah.
And but we really didn't want to portray it as like we're just here for the last chance, because I was just like a part of you. Right?
I wouldn't even say that, but yeah, which I appreciate you talking about, yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, with that being said, bro, now that we brought it up, in reality, when we did the first podcast, I was fresh, bro. But one thing I do know is that people really did have that question of like, what happened after? Like what happened to this guy? Because I think everyone's seen that dog, and everyone knew you were gonna do great things in life. Everyone just wants to know, like, what happened?
I mean, I still think I'm gonna do great things in life. I think just because like
Absolutely.
no one knows about it doesn't mean I haven't still done. But
that's
I know
what
we're
here. We're here to educate these mother truckers.
Well, like if people actually like even want to know, But I stopped playing ball in 2021. I just got I'd already gotten to this point. I actually had a premonition. Like we played Sierra College in November of 2019, lost 21-14. I caught like 3 or 4 balls. It was a bowl game. We missed the playoffs. We weren't very good. And it was frustrating. But I was also just like, the last few weeks, not even the last few weeks, the last 2 weeks specifically, we had this bye week and then we had our bowl game. I just had like this feeling of like, I'm ready for this shit to be over. And I remember walking off the field and just thinking to myself like, yeah, it's the last time I'll ever put on a pair of pads. And it wasn't something that I thought, like, you can't control your thoughts. You can't think them before you've thought them. Right. It just popped up into my head as I'm walking back to turn my uniform and my shoulder pads in. And I'll never forget it, But I kind of fought against that for the next 2 years. I initially accepted a scholarship to a Division II school out in Tennessee called Tusculum College. I had offers from Adams State, North Dakota State, or no. School in North Dakota, I forget what it was. Bunch of D2s. I briefly got wrapped up with a Cal coach, wide receiver, named Burl Toller. Great guy, phenomenal guy. Can't say enough about him. But ultimately it just didn't work out. And I think that I was already past this point of like even wanting to play. I was kind of just trying to keep up this image, or like it wasn't even for anybody but me. I was trying to keep telling myself like, you're this guy, you're this athlete, you're gonna go play in the league. And it's not that I couldn't, right? I had GMs of like teams calling me, no bullshit. I'm not gonna name names, but I had a receivers coach for the Chargers at the time. He called me. He texted me on Twitter. We had a great conversation. So I was getting this positive reinforcement. I just didn't care. And it just, cause I wasn't authentically me, and there's no longevity in it. And I was having a lot of bad thoughts about like, well, what about after football? What am I going to do then? And I realized like, I just don't even know who I am anymore. I didn't recognize who I was looking at in the mirror. And that was enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm done with football. So I just walked away and just decided to just live a more calm life, less centered around like my image and my success. I wanted to really like, cause part of playing football and trying to be as successful as I was trying to be, go to that next level, part of your humanity kind of has to die off. You kind of have to go into this zone that's not very rooted in empathy. It's very much ego-driven and self-serving. And it's not that that's a bad thing, but it was starting to deteriorate just me as a person. I was starting to kind of lose my sense of self, very disassociative. It was like I didn't know who I was looking at anymore. Like I recognized the features in the face, and, I know that's my voice, but like I don't know that that's me. And it was hard and it was very turbulent. But the second I decided I was done, I just felt like this weight lifted off my shoulders. And, I kind of got, I fell in love with that. It was nice for a change. So I put so much pressure on myself. And I just started diving into the things that I love doing, like drawing, writing, photography, music even. I started getting into music just for fun. And it has nothing to do with like, there's no like real end goal. It's like, hopefully people hear it one day and it resonates with them. And hopefully people see what I can do someday artistically. But like, there's nothing like I would do it for free.
Yeah.
I would like it doesn't matter to me if I become like some great person anymore.
Right. But one thing I've really been like trying to talk about, especially on the platform, just in general, is something that like I needed to find the right person to talk to it about, and I think you are the right person, bro. In the sense of like, okay, check me out. I feel like there's a lot of players that are great human beings for one, because to make it to that level, bro, you got to be an elite human being.
Yeah.
Right? Even like D1 or, it seemed like even JUCO, you got to,
Dude, NAIA, D3. Like, the reality of it is it's hard anywhere you go.
Yeah, facts. So, damn, you made me lose my train of thought.
My bad, bro. I apologize. Yeah.
No, that's definitely on me. Okay, this is what I was talking about. There's a lot of great human beings, bro, and they get so close, bro. Like, I'm talking about even Michigan, I'm talking about Ohio State, and not all of them make it to the league, though, because there's literally there's only so many spots. So what about those guys? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about what about those guys as far as like job, but also the mental health, bro. I could just imagine, dog, you're working for so many years for a certain goal that literally vanishes as time goes by.
Yeah. No, okay. No, it's a great point. Like, I went through that.
Yeah.
Like,
so how did you deal with that?
I just had to recognize that football was just something I did, and I loved it, and I poured myself into it. And for me, it was also a vector of creativity in a lot of ways, physical creativity. Like, I had my own philosophy on route running and like certain ways that I do things, like how I do out routes, like how am I putting my foot on the ground, like am I rounding out as a cut? I had certain vernacular. I had my own drills. Like, I was in love with it, right? And then all of a sudden that just went away. And that was hard. I still, sometimes I'll watch football and think to myself, like, damn, that shit was fun. Like, I had a good time doing that. Like, there was freedom in that. But going back to what you were saying, like, you have to realize that football is not the end all be all. It's a stop on your otherwise very long, methodical journey. It sounds very cliche and corny, but it's the truth. You can only do it for so long, and it's only self-fulfilling. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is just a game. And I think that for me, why I was growing out of it was because football was a form of escapism for me. And I was kind of maturing past that. But like, what I would say to anybody who's like not making it, or they know they're not going to make the cut and they're just kind of on the fence about just dropping it, if you're already thinking that way, then you have your answer. The only way through to that side is by believing, even to a delusional level, that you're going to get there. Because you can get damn close, if not all the way there. But if you just have that doubt, then you already know how this story plays out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And but you have to be okay with that. You have to accept that. And you just have to know life's going to get way better. Football, dude, like, football's fucked up, man. It's good for you. I think it's really good for young men. Taught me a lot about being just a decent human being, and the responsibility and honesty, as well as like just humility. But but like at the end of the day, man, like, you gotta understand that like it's just a stop. It's a bump in the road for some people. Sometimes it's a stop, but ultimately life gets better. There's more things out there that are more beautiful than running into dudes at 100 miles an hour, Yeah. Pause.
Nah, facts. And yeah, bro, I think you're right, dog. Like, at the end of the day, it's really just a sport. But man, I feel like some people kind of might have put their purpose to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah. It's just very interesting, dog. Because I'm sure, like, when I broke my leg, like, I was going through it, like, emotionally. Like, I didn't want to, like, I didn't know it at the time, but I know people go through that, like, sports psychology type shit.
Yeah. Well, any type of adversity that like puts your dreams in peril is gonna affect you psychologically.
Facts. If you could redo it all over again, what would you change though? Because now you're how old?
27.
27. You were on that show in JUCO, which means
I was 22.
You were 22 years old.
It was a little bit ago.
So it's been a while. So if you could redo it, bro, like, what would you change?
As far as what, like being on the show, or just like my career in general?
Just yeah. Because I think
I think
my thing about it, my bad, but my thing about the show is like you were at least able to just document your life. So even just your life during that time.
Yeah. So the thing I would do different is I would have had a more honest conversation with my dad. That's the one thing I would change about the show. I would have had a more open and honest conversation with my dad. I regret a lot of what I said on there, especially because it turned out to not really be all that accurate. It was anyway, I don't want to get into that, but I'd like to redo that if I could. I can't, We have a great relationship now, but I'd redo that. Cause yeah. But as far as like
that's tough though, bro. Cause
yeah. No, but we squashed it. We're good. It's just I just
help
wish
you
I would have
squash it.
how we just talked, man. Like, father to son, man to man. Like I'm not perfect, he's not perfect. We don't expect that of each other. And I think at the time that's what I was expecting of him, and that was wrong of me. And so that's why I was always hurt. And maybe I wasn't like, I know for a fact I wasn't the easiest like kid to deal with, let alone young adult, 21, 22, 23-year-old. Like I could be a piece of work, But yeah, we squashed it. But that's the one thing I would redo. I would have changed the way I spoke about that. But as far as like career, I think if there's one thing I could change, I don't really know that there would be. Because at the end of the day, like the decisions I made have led me to where I am now. And I don't think I could have learned what I've learned. I don't think I could be doing what I'm doing. I don't think I could be thinking how I'm thinking or creating how I'm creating without those experiences, And I don't think I could have learned a lot of what I've learned. Like a lot of life is just messing up, is failing over and over and over and over and over again. But the beauty and where things start to change is when you just keep getting up. You learn that. And like the hardest part, like we're going back to athletes transitioning from being an athlete, a college athlete, a hopeful professional, to just civilian stuff, is how do I do these methodical things? Football was easy because it's exciting, it's physical, it's fast, it's aggressive, it's violent, it's explosive.
It's a culture.
It's a culture, but it's a craze, it's an enigma. I'm just getting up at 6 a.m. to go to work now. That it's so strange. And so like, but you have to fall in love with that. You have to realize that's life. That's mostly life, is finding beauty and adversity in these little moments to keep pushing forward. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn, man. I still struggle with it. It's hard, but so I don't know that I would redo anything specifically, but maybe I wouldn't have fought myself so hard on the football thing. Maybe I would have been like, yeah, I'm done playing football right then and there, and then never thought about it again, and just gone off. Because I think some things might have changed. I might not have had certain relationships or been in certain situations had I not clung on to football the way I did from this disassociative perspective. But at the end of the day, man, I can't really say that I would change anything.
Facts. Man, I wanted to speak on like, I wouldn't necessarily call it the fan, but it was just like the attention, right? Because it's like some people, they're entertainers, so in a sense, they kind of expect it and they work for it.
Yeah.
But I feel like in your case, like it just kind of hits you, bro, with like a right hook. Like, what? Now we gonna be on Netflix this year?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I didn't care. I thought it was cool. I had a pretty unbelievable conversation with a former teammate of mine. His name's Chris Brown. Shout out, Chris.
Breezy.
That's what we call him. We used to call him Breezy. Great player, great guy.
Yeah.
Really intelligent guy, very intuitive. But we had a conversation at the BART station in 2018, and he was telling me about that show. I'd actually never watched it before. And he was like, I feel like they'll come here. And I was like, I don't care. Like cool. Like, but he's talking to me. I'm trying to connect with him. He's telling me about the show. And I'm like, oh, that would be cool. And then he's like, anyway, I'm not gonna go that far. But he did tell me something that I thought was strange, and it ended up happening. So
yeah,
it was weird, but I was also just like, I'm here to play football, man.
Facts. And you know what? Past that last chance you shit, bro, we were able to see in the RJ Stern, because I mentioned, it's funny, we were trying to get this right, man. Some things don't always work out the way you want them to, but you just got to make them work. Point is, we were able to make this shit work, and we were talking about, that last chance you shit, but just not to make it too much of last chance you we were talking about, but
yeah.
The fact that we were able to see you at a crucial age, right? Because that's also what we were talking about on the phone, bro. Was like, man, there's something about being a man and the age of 18 to 25, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting to the 25 mark, so I can understand it a little bit. You're 27 years old. From your point of view, bro, how important is the age of like 18 to 25 in a young man's life?
Well, I mean, any point in your life is important, right?
Yeah.
But like, in terms of like vital growth, like when that happens, like when those changes start to occur in your brain, not just like psychologically, but physically, neurologically, excuse me. They're vital. It's not that they're important, they're vital. Like you have to have that. But what I like to how I like to think about it is like just a spectrum of perspective, and the way it shifts from the time you're 18 when you're officially a man to the time you're 25 when you're actually officially a man. Because that's when your brain like when I turned 25.
Yeah, because when you're 18, you got that chest on your hair. You're like, man,
I barely had chest on my hair at 18, bro.
Right.
You know?
Right, but your whole sense of like the way you approach life is like, I know everything. Like you can't teach me anything. Like I know it all.
And
you know what I'm saying?
There's something useful there though for someone who's like highly ambitious and wants to succeed.
Facts.
There's something useful in that for sure. And it's important to have, but I just mean like things change so much. Like from between those ages, things change so much from the time you're 18 to the time you're my age. Like it's never gonna stop changing. That's what I've kind of quickly figured out after I started noticing how different things were. And it's like, and it's subtle. It just kind of hits you. Like you can't like pinpoint it or predict it. You just wake up one day and you're like, yeah, I don't really think I want to keep being a player. I don't think I really want to keep like talking to multiple girls at once or entertaining bullshit or being out in the club with my friends, you know? Like just certain things, or like maybe I could have handled that situation a little better. Maybe I could have been more careful with my words. Maybe I could have apologized for that. Things like little things, just like those are just examples of how it'll hit you. But like it'll show up in just all kinds of unique little ways, and like you're like, I would have never done that before, and it's like
facts.
Yeah, so it's just crazy. It's just an interesting journey.
Yeah, it really is, bro. And I think what I wrote down, dog, because I'm really starting to think like, dog, you know, like we're all men.
We try to be, yeah. We do our best.
And like, you know, I think no matter what you got to say, bro, like men have roles in society, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And I feel like, you know, that's something we got to check in with every day. Is how can we benefit society and shit like that?
Yeah, holding your boys accountable.
Right, and it's just like
holding yourself accountable above everything else, though.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely, it starts with yourself.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say here is like there's a certain level that we keep each other accountable to, like from the age of 18-25, that like really jumps like from the 14 to 18. Because like what I noticed, bro, is like we hear a lot of foreigners, they talk about the 14 to 18, and it's like we're babied compared to like the way people live 14 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think, now that we got freedom, we're able to do what we want and live the way we were living before. So now we're exposed to the world at 18 to 25. So it's like shit really starts coming up. And when I was doing that, I wrote down that question. I just started writing shit down that like would pour into that. And I was writing down like, yeah, bro, like a bunch of childhood trauma starts to show. Like you start realizing who you want to build with.
Yeah.
You realize how to build.
You think you do, yeah. You get to a certain point.
Right. Or you start like at least the not tos. Like, let me not build that way.
Let me definitely not do this.
Right.
Let me definitely avoid this specifically, you know?
Facts.
Yeah.
And then you understand yourself, and I think understanding yourself is a lifelong thing. But I think you start to get a sense of it at like 24, 25.
Yeah. I would agree with that. 24, 25. Know? Things just start kind of clicking.
But I'm sure it's different for everyone. I just heard like Joey Diaz talk about it one day. He was like, man, I'm only going to say this once, motherfuckers. He was like,
I was in Brooklyn when
my mother died when I was 13 years old. And the age 19 to 23, I was lost, motherfucker. I was lost. And like, I fucking understood him, bro. Like,
yeah,
there's something that happens, bro. Point is, I think with all these stats that we hear with like men committing suicide, fucking people just being in depression. I'm not saying it's not normal, but you're not in this alone type shit. Like, you know, that's really my grand message. If there's anything that I would say out of that, there's something that I heard, bro, and I wanted to talk about your childhood a little bit, especially that house that we just seen on Netflix. I want to see how much that ties into who RJ is, bro. But check this out. I'm gonna give you guys something to learn today, and then never forget it. So there's this Japanese ritual, Javi. It's called the Misogi. So the Misogi, what it is that every single year, you make sure that you change one thing that's big. So 2023, I lost 80 pounds. 2024, I stopped my addiction. 2025, I started running. So the Misogi practice and the ritual, bro, they make sure they do something once a year that really defines that year.
Yeah, sure. sort of like a New Year's resolution, but the other way around.
Sure.
Better way of looking at it.
Point is, it's a good ritual to practice because, like, you never want to go back and be like, man, what did I do 2019? What did I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to have one defining moment within the, maybe not necessarily a moment, but something that really defines that year.
Yeah.
Because imagine you have 100 of those.
Hopefully you have 100 of them.
Man.
I agree with that. Like, whether
Anyway.
I was playing football or I was like, you know, the last few years, like just really focusing on like my creativity, whether it's like drawing, writing, music, photography, acting, whatever it is. Like, I'm trying to figure out what can I get 1% better at today? What can I learn today? You know? And I think that's a sort of micro way to look at it, you know, sort of there's the macro with the with that tradition you just told us about. Like grand scheme of things, but I think in like I'm just saying, like, it's worked for me on a micro level. Like, what can I get better at today? What's one thing I can get 1% better at today? And that's like something I try to live my life by. It's not perfect. Like, I'm definitely not as consistent as I could be, but like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, shout out to Misogi Ritual.
Yeah.
So I wondered, we have a lot of beautiful books around you.
Yeah, we do.
I don't think you're very foreign to it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, to me, this is foreign. Like, I've never had books around me. This is something that I look at every day. I'm like, wow, I'm grateful it's mine. But see, you grew up in a house, bro. You grew up in a house of writers, you know? And I think literature, I think the English language is just very deep, bro. And I think if you're, like, around that, there's no way it, like, brushed off on you is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So being from a family of writers, like, what did that do, like, in a literature way to you?
Oddly enough, I don't read like that. Like, I have like a couple of books I like to read.
Okay.
But it didn't have an effect on me. A lot of what had an effect on me growing up that fed into my own personal creativity was music.
Okay.
I grew up around music. My mom owned a couple of opera companies. She always had actors over at our place for dress rehearsal or just regular rehearsal, or we'd be at the theater with her till midnight, 1 a.m, doing rehearsal, dress rehearsal. I'd go to her shows. And then on top of that, I always loved movies. Movies were like an escape for me, you know, and I just fell in love with storytelling and like just kind of immersing myself in that. And like, that's really what fed into it. But it all started really with drawing. Like, I started drawing. My mom says I picked up a crayon when I was like 3, and it took off from there. And I actually remember my process from the beginning to now. Like, I could draw you something to a T, like what I used to draw when I was a kid. And I like know like how I got to certain places. And so I just spent my life just kind of obsessively like learning how to draw. And it's not necessarily like a good thing, but it's kind of like my own type of art. It's like, how much can I learn just by paying attention? And so that's kind of like where creativity starts for me. But like, as far as like the impact of like them being writers, I never like gave a shit. Excuse my language. I just never cared.
That's real.
I just never cared. Like, my mom would always tell me like, oh, if you tell the librarian this is your grandmother, she'll be like, oh, no, really? And I did it once, and I was like, you know, that didn't make me feel anything. I don't care.
Right, because in the book world, your grandma was famous.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, I'm not even gonna talk about her. I read a couple of it, and I was like, this is you're world famous for this. I get why it's important. You know, it was a new take on a classic story and introduced female characters. It was very empowering. That's what's up. I just personally was like, this isn't very well written. But anyway, that's not really important.
Can I talk about the quote that really stood out that she said?
Oh, yeah, you mentioned something about a quote earlier. Yeah,
Did
please.
I say it to you or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So she said, oh, I didn't say it before, though. This is the first time.
No, you didn't tell me. This is the first time I'm hearing it. Yeah.
Okay.
That was smart on your part. That's actually, you're going to get the live reaction. You're going to get the live reaction.
Punch me. Hold on. Let me get
I'm
it
not gonna
right.
punch you.
Nah, I'm joking. Fuck, bro. I really wrote it down.
Type shit.
All right. If we only had perfect people writing, there would be nobody to write.
Oh, okay. My grandma.
What we should be doing is honoring what people manage to achieve despite their flaws.
Say that for me one more time. I need to hear that again.
If we only had perfect people writing, there would be nobody to write about. What we should be doing is honoring what people manage to achieve despite their flaws.
Okay. What we should be doing is trying to manage people.
I think on a grand scheme of things, if you look at it like that, you win. Because that person, they got their issues, But if you're still able to like get the best out of the gist, then you're good. Like you don't gotta feed into the other shit.
Yeah, I mean, I can summarize that lengthy.
Yeah, you can. What does that mean to you?
What that means,
Because that stood out to me. Yeah.
What that means in general, and it's powerful. It's powerful for sure. But what that generally means is appreciate the art, or
right. That's what
appreciate the art, not the artist. Judge the art, not the artist. That's the best way to summarize that.
Okay.
And to me,
that could be flipped, right? That could be like,
yeah, you know, but like it's just like appreciate the art. And, you know, if the artist is problematic, like maybe it's essentially saying ignore bad behavior for good art. And that's another way you could articulate it. There's various ways you could pick it apart, but I think it generally just means don't mind the artist, just appreciate the art. And I mean, yeah, like it just depends on like what, like her, I think that's just coming from a place of guilt, knowing what I know about her.
I see what
you know, my
saying.
grandmother was just not a good person. You know, she was very, you know, vindictive by all accounts. And, you know, she protected people who shouldn't have been protected, and you know, but like that's just, to me, saying something like that just is indicative of like some sort of guilt. And so I don't really find it that profound, like, because me personally, like, I'm not perfect. I've hurt people, like I've made people cry, I've, you know, made people upset, you know, just like it's happened to me. But like I'm a villain in someone's story, right? I know that for a fact.
And
so it's
every
like,
hero's a
but I've
villain
never,
to somebody.
Yeah, well, you know, it's the duality of a person, right? But like my point is like, I don't think I've ever taken it to a point where like, yeah, this person's objectively like terrible. Like I've never had to defend it. I've always been open with like how flawed I am and how many mistakes I make. Like I don't try to hide behind like, you know, like if we spent all our resources just trying to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not, you know, that's like hiding from accountability.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Because my bad. The way I'm looking at it, I'm very extreme. So like I'm looking at it like, bro, on the real spiritual level, I may not want to be around a murderer and, you know, somebody who's killed somebody and shit. But I don't think, okay, maybe there's evil in this world, but I don't believe every murderer is like evil.
I can
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Okay, let me explain to you. I think, oh yeah, right now. He's like, yeah, get on your phone because you're talking nonsense. Nah, the way I look at it, bro, is like all these murderers that we see, most of them, okay, like I said, bro, some of them, they might have some type of mental disability, which is fine. It's science. There's science to that shit. But also, I believe that we were all born as babies, bro, and we're all from the source. So something has to happen for you to be fucked up as a human being to feel like you have to kill somebody. I'm talking about premeditated and shit, not like whatever. But you get what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. That's the way I look at it, bro. Like, I feel like a lot of people can be rehabilitated because they weren't always like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, people, and it's not just murder.
Like I said, that's very extreme.
There's worse things than murder, you know, like there's sexual assault, there's doing stuff. There's stuff that, like, me personally, I have a hard time just, like, saying out loud, you know, like most people. It's just, like, there's so many bad things. There's so many reasons why people will justify their actions. You know, like that, just they don't have any rules, and those people are dangerous. Maybe cut that out, but like, it was a very delicate situation, and like I don't know that like I could have reacted any differently, but like, yeah, you know, but like I saw them, but like I witnessed that firsthand, like this duality of this person. I was like, wow, like how would anybody else reacted? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just thinking also, bro, there's so many reasons. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole,
That's about as far as you're getting with me, so.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, man, I just know, dog, like, we know, bro. We just know, man. You don't gotta be a psycho to kill somebody around here, dog.
I mean, some, yeah.
Like, this gangs, you know, gangs exist, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, people will convince themselves of their own story to justify their means. Sure. Yeah, you know, like everyone is telling themselves a story about their life every single day, whether they're aware of it or not. Right. And they use that story and this idea of themselves to further go after what they wish to have. Yeah. It's what we all do.
You know, I heard this guy named Graham Hancock. Y'all should search him up.
I know who Graham Hancock is.
My boy tapped in. He says that we're a human race. We're a species with amnesia. What do y'all think?
We
forget shit.
Yeah.
And we've forgotten shit over time. So I don't know. That's just very interesting. But
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Point is though, yeah, he probably means that as like a grand scale of things, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, when he said that, that shit like exploded my whole mind. Because if you think about it, y'all were talking about the Bible earlier, man. What is the Bible? Like that shit.
Oh shit. I don't know if I want to say that on camera though. It's nothing bad. I just don't want.
It's against my religion.
We were talking about well, no, it's specifically how it came up. You gonna bring out
the yarmulke?
I'm ethnically Jewish. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Jewish. I'm not religiously Jewish.
Man, dog.
No, we were talking about the Bible, but it was more so about like this culture of storytelling, right? You know, and like why that's. But I'm not gonna get into any because I don't want to like say like how that came up because that's kind of like a touchy subject. But at the end of the day, that's just someone like me,
right? But if we just look at the Bible in general,
so it doesn't matter. I could talk about it.
On a general standpoint, though, Bible is just stories, bro. It's just stories. Like there's no hardcore. Most of it is there's no hardcore evidence.
You know, yeah. I've yet to see any like. I mean, they have a couple of things. They have the Talmud and they have the
what's that called?
Our Lady Saint Guadalupe.
Okay.
Basically, I could speak more to the Our Lady Saint Guadalupe. Basically, it's there's this fabric and it has a picture of Jesus printed on it, and it's literally impossible to replicate it. And they're not sure how it was made, and it's dated back like a couple thousand years ago or however long ago it was, and it's essentially it shouldn't exist. And they kind of they'll use that as like sort of proof of the divinity. But I don't know, like, but if you look at the Bible, it just depends on how you're looking at the Bible, you know?
No, I was just, I hear you. Because you probably said meant the camera, but I was thinking about something, bro, because we were talking about it earlier, and I was like, man, I know when I remember, it's going to fuck with me. We were talking about football and just like business and shit. But point is, bro, religion is just stories.
Yeah, but they're helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say here is like, it can't be just one. It can't just be like, we don't know. I don't know. I ain't gonna get into religion and shit. We're here to talk about football, man. Guns, Jesus, and football.
Yeah. No, we maybe not so much the football.
Football. How much of football? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily football, but. Here's the thing, though.
Well, if you have a question, you can ask, bro.
No. Here's the thing. Because I know you through high school, and I knew RJ loved football. Yeah. Does that passion of just football ever go away?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Genuinely.
Yeah. Dude, like, this is the thing. Like, that's, I think, what bothers me so much about the show now is, like, people, like, that's not me. That's like a version of me that doesn't exist anymore. That's not, but that's genuinely just not me. Like it couldn't be me because I didn't even know who I was at the time.
Yeah, at this point, you've definitely grown.
100%. I'm more of a person now than I ever was. Yeah. You know, but like, it just it goes away, dude. Hell yeah. I'm lucky because I have other outlets. Like I'm creative. Like that's what I really like to do. I've been doing that since I was little, and I've been doing it sheerly because I love doing it. Football was. I mean, I love doing it. I love physically playing, but I also got something out of it. I got recognition. I got like gratitude. I also like felt like self-respect. I got a lot out of it. You know, I got necessity out of it. You know, I felt needed. I felt important. Yeah. Facts. And those are all important things. Those are all good things to feel. Being a team is always great. Yeah. I had family. That was a big thing for me. It gave me family, you know, but like, yeah, you get over it. It leaves. Cause at the end of the day, like how long, like, It's you kind of have to let that part of you die off. Like you can't just hold on to the past. Facts. So for me, it was easy to kill off. As soon as I stopped playing football, I was good. As soon as I decided consciously I'm done, I was good. I didn't think about it. I still really don't. You know?
Word, honest to God, the reason why I asked that question was like my leading question is just like the way I look at it, bro, is like, okay, I'm thinking my little nephew, okay, he plays Pee-wee football. Like that's most likely, bro, people who know you. Like these kids in high school, these kids in Pee-wee, you know, they search up Netflix and shit. Yeah. So it's like, okay, how do we tell them to follow their dreams, but also like awaken them? Because my bad, because you said something at the end of the show. You were like, man, I realized that like football is a business.
Oh, 100%. Everything's a business, bro. Yeah.
Sure, but like, how many people and kids play football knowing that it's a business, knowing that you need to know that it's a business?
I think less than they should, less than should, but more than they did. But
And should they know? Like while they're playing, like, yo, this
no,
is a business.
I actually think you need to just let kids be kids. I think you just need to let kids believe in something blindly. I think you need to not shelter them, but don't like be like, hey, yeah, like shit's probably not gonna work out. Don't ever tell a kid that. Don't ever like don't because the second you start introducing doubt into someone's mind is the second, and it works is when they start dying. That's when their soul starts to deteriorate. You can't do that. And I know that because people used to tell me it was a long shot for me. And they were right. But, like, I'm different. I didn't care. I'm crazy. Like, I don't care what I have to do to get to where I need to get to. Like, I'm going to go do what I want to go do. Like, I don't care, like, what you think. But not everybody has that. And so I think it's imperative that you just let kids dream and that you just let them do what they got to do. And you let them have fun, man. Don't, like, they're kids. When you're 18, 19, 20, 21, like, yeah, maybe, maybe start thinking a little bit. But, like, even into your early 20s, like, dream, go for it, try it, just believe in yourself. That's really what it came down to, bro. For me, was just believing that I could. And then I got to a certain point, like, I just played junior college football too. Like, the fact that like nothing I did would be considered special had it not been on a show to like everybody else. But like the fact I'm great.
Bay Area.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, had no one seen that, I would have just been another guy doing what so many other guys do. It just wouldn't have. But like, I still think that it's beautiful that it's touched people's lives and it's helped me out so much. Like, it's introduced me to a different world completely, even if for a short amount of time. But it's just like at the end of the day, man. Yeah. It was. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going with that.
Yeah. But you said something on the show, bro, where like I said, that's just what I was referring to, because it was just a great documentation of your life at that point. But
yeah.
You said something about just in general, you felt very limited in life before.
Yeah.
And it just ties into what you're saying, bro, where it's like you should believe in these kids' lives, because then that like creates unlimitation, if that's even a word. You get what I'm trying to say? Where it's like, knowing that you believe in me makes me like have no limit.
Again, this is where I'm crazy. Like, I don't need anybody to believe in me.
Sure, but do you think that's because you kind of grew up that way?
Yeah.
Respectfully,
Yeah. Like, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like me speaking on it personally, like it would be, I can't connect to that as well because I don't care what people think. I don't care if you believe in me.
But I just think, bro, me either. I'm not gonna say
I know you don't. Yeah,
you're a ton or whatever. But it's like, for example, respectfully, bro, it was like, man, okay, let's talk about it. Richie's dad. Okay, do you think it was big for him to step up the way he did? And do you think,
absolutely?
Do you think that's important? Like,
yeah, 100%, dude. Because he did that because he wanted to. Like that guy means everything to me to this day. After everything. I really care about him. I think about him often. And I'll never forget that. He gave me my wings. That was something we used to talk about in private, but like he had a huge impact on my life. And I will say his belief in me, his support of me, that definitely like really, really helped in a lot of ways for me. In more ways than one, because I didn't get that from any other places. And so like it's not that I ever asked for it or needed it necessarily, but I got it anyway, and it helped tremendously.
That's what I'm trying to say. It provides just like that extra push.
Yeah. No, it's important for sure. I was just saying, like, I probably still would have ended up where I ended up regardless, but it definitely moved me in ways that, it still affect me to this day for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. Do you want to be a father one day?
Yeah. God willing.
I'm excited for your kids, bro.
We'll see. I got to be with the right woman, and I got to be in the right. It's not even just about the right anything. It's just the right person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What about you? You want to be a dad?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. How many kids you want?
Damn.
As many as she wants? That's what I said. As many as she wants.
As many as she
it's up to her.
Pop out.
Huh?
As many as she can pop out.
Jesus. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah.
Through that monkey.
Oh, boy. This is a neighborhood show.
Shout out Joey Diaz, man. That's my idol. That's why I said that. I had to shout him out.
Oh,
so what do you want to do now, bro? Just send this out. We've been chopping it up, man. I appreciate you, bro. If we come here as always, dog. What do you really want to do now? Like, what's your main focus?
Just continuing to grow as a person and grow as an artist and learn as a person. Learn things. Just 1% better every day, and then like career-wise, I just want to be an artist. I want to act. I want to direct. I want to paint. And I already do all these things in my day-to-day. It's just whether I'm going to get paid for it one day remains to be seen. I personally think so. I think I'm pretty good at what I do. I think I bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
But that's not up to me, really.
I think you're a great human too, so that always helps.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Like you got a good head on your shoulders, dog. Like
sometimes, yeah.
You can keep up a conversation. You're cultured, like you're white.
I'm
so I'm sure that always helps. Jewish, you're Jewish.
I'm ethnically
you got that
Jewish.
fire mustache. That shit always helps.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm white. Like I'm white, but it's ethnic. I'm not technically. I'm Jewish, but
yeah, I was joking.
I look white. Yeah.
In general, bro, I have a lot of belief in you, bro. Just the way you're shaped, bro. Like everyone's seen it on the show. If you watch the show, bro, you can understand like you're a dog, bro. Like the circumstances. That's kind of what I want to talk about. Man, I always say that shit just because shit pops up, but it's more so, bro. It's like, man, like the situation, man. I gotta find a way to format this conversation better. But just the last thing we talk about football, bro. Before we log off, bro. How much do you think matters as far as like your situation, NFL, college, even high school, right? Because Dior said he only won 2 games his entire high school career. Imagine if you put him on a good team. So how much do you think that matters, like placement? Because they might, they might draft you, but shit, that safety might be elite for the next 10 years. Now you can't play.
I'm not gonna speak on Dior. But
that's just what I remember for the show.
I got you. I guess I don't really understand your question. Like you're asking me like
how much do you think like
me on this team or me on that team?
Matters. Yeah.
I think situation matters, but what matters more is like how do you attack your situation? I didn't have a good situation at Laney. Like that was never like an ideal
But it matters though, right?
Of course it matters. Of course it matters. But I guess I'm trying to figure out the context. Like
right.
What like it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how shitty your circumstances are or how bad a hand you've dealt. What are you going to do to get out of it? That's what matters. That's what matters ultimately. So like, I don't really like to think about like, oh, he was in a bad situation. I think that's like very like kind of weak.
Yeah.
It's a cop out. It's like, well, what can you do to get better? And maybe that's like an extremist point of view.
No, that's a life point of view.
Yeah, but like, like you can't choose like your environment all the time. You couldn't choose your parents. You can't choose the way your brain is wired. Like what you can choose is to recognize that you don't have control and then try to mitigate the things you can and just have a good attitude. Just like I call it delusional positivity. It's the key to being good at anything, to being successful at anything. So like your situation doesn't matter. How you operate in that situation is what matters. That's my outlook on it. Like anybody who's bitching and moaning about like, man, coach doesn't want to play me, or man, this job sucks, or I can't work with this director. He's like whatever. Like that's you. You're projecting. You're being self-centered. You need to like ground yourself, and you need to take a step back and realize like you're the only one being negative. You just need. It's about adapting.
Word. Yeah. You're great at adapting, bro. You're from Texas, California. Like
I'm from California. I'm from the Bay Area. I'm not from Texas. I'm from the Bay Area.
Lived in Texas. Lived in Tennessee.
Years. I lived in Tennessee. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like to be able to do that, my boy Kwaku moved out to Atlanta for a few years, and man, being able to adapt, bro. That's a different type of animal, bro. I respect y'all because I haven't moved out of my hometown, and I don't know if I will, and when I will, I'll highly recommend have a family, so it'll probably be easier. But y'all did it alone, which is I respect.
I'd highly recommend if you're in your if you're in your mid-20s, move out of your hometown. You don't have to move out of state. Move out of your hometown. Go experience new people, new environment, new situations, new opportunities. Yeah. You can only grow. You can only get better, and you can only grow. New food, but it has a lot to do with just. But it's gonna change like the way you look at life a little more. It's gonna give you more perspective. Like leaving the Bay is like. I learned a lot. I saw a different part of life, like East Tennessee, Greenville, Tennessee, farm town, complete 180. Yeah. Texas is somewhere in the middle. But like being in those different circumstances, different environments, different types of people, like the way people are far more friendly in Texas than anyone I've ever met out here or otherwise, by the way. Like Southern hospitality isn't necessarily a thing in Tennessee, but in Texas, I love Texas. Love the people out there. I miss Texas.
What part?
Dallas. Good people out in Dallas. Austin was okay. I went there for a day and it's like Berkeley 2.0.
I see.
Just bigger. Yeah.
Dallas is
But
what?
yeah, highly recommend moving out of your hometown at least for a couple
Like
years.
San Jose vibes, San Francisco.
No, like move if you're from the Bay Area, move to like move to Colorado, move to Texas, move to Florida, move somewhere out of state. Like leave where you're from. Especially if you're from the Bay Area, you're not gonna go to LA or and experience something new. You can go up north, you know, like you can go to Oregon, Eureka, Washington, or you can stay like near Paradise or like Sacramento, but like leave where you're from specifically. Just get away from that. Just for a couple of years. You know, it doesn't mean it's goodbye forever, but I think it's really good for people.
Come back and thank RJ.
Don't thank me. Thank yourself for doing it.
You have to get RJ the nut Stern tatted right next to your nuts.
I'm not thrilled about that
nickname. Man, dog. No, that was a great advice because man, it takes balls to take that leap, bro.
Yeah, it's a leap of faith, bro. You don't know what's gonna happen,
yeah.
but it's imperative.
I love my hometown, man.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the Bay Area deserves more limelight?
I don't think the Bay Area cares. That's the thing about being from the Bay Area. You don't need that outside validation.
Right.
Like if you're an artist, like you're playing music, everyone in the Bay Area knows who you are if you're about your shit. Like people, that's all you need, right? But like I don't know, like I kind of like that it's we have our own little bubble here that people just kind of stumble upon throughout there's life, and like, you know, there's just like this very specific community here, you know.
Yeah,
I fuck with that, you know. But like,
absolutely.
I would love to see the Bay Area be utilized in like more films.
Yeah.
Get more recognition because we got a beautiful city. You know, Oakland, absolutely. Parts of Oakland are beautiful. All of San Francisco is gorgeous for the most part. Yeah. Richmond has some beautiful spots. Anywhere around here, anywhere you go, I would love to see like more representation of the Bay Area.
And
if
they do a Bay Area film, like have Bay Area actors.
I mean, you know, put the actors there who are gonna do the job. But sure, if you can find someone local who's an actor who's about their shit, like absolutely cast them. You're not gonna go wrong casting a Bay Area local for a Bay Area film. You know what I mean? You're not gonna go wrong. They're gonna fit right in. They probably don't have to act.
Right.
You know?
Nah, I hear you. I just think the Bay Area has so many talented people.
So much talent is here.
I didn't realize it till I started working here.
Yeah.
Or not working here, but like dipped a little bit into the entertainment industry. I started realizing it, you know. But I think it's for good reason, bro. I think we are great, hardworking people in the Bay Area, and like we're creative as fuck. You know, we don't care what other people think. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about it, is we don't care about what nobody think.
We got our own language out here, bro.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And you know, one thing is the Bay Area gets its credit, bro. Like people know what the Bay is about.
Yeah,
no one denies that. Everyone knows what we have to offer here, everything that originates here specifically.
Yanking.
Like the Bay Area is one of the most important like cultures in modern American society right now for like music and entertainment.
And I think it's gonna blow up.
Art.
Cause I'm thinking right now. I'm talking about the end of 2024. You give it to LA. Y'all give it to LA because of
LA's. Because I'm not gonna talk about LA. Never mind.
Lamar. Kendrick Lamar. Okay, the West. I hear you. The West.
Yeah. Don't make it a Bay LA thing.
Okay,
we know who's better.
Okay.
We know.
Point is though, if y'all were to even give that to LA, bruh, okay, fine, the West. But I think the Bay Area got a lot of great things coming for 2025. Is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah, I mean, you know, it's just like the thing about art or music is like everyone is like trying to make it a
real competition. There is
exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, bro. Like it's just.
I think there's something fun to it. Like that's why people be throwing up the West Side. You know,
it's like, fun. Yeah, it just depends on how far you take it. But I think if you're like just an appreciator of music, a lover of music, of art, of film, of anything. Like,
I'm a competitor, bro. I'll run through that fucking wall right now if I need to.
Cameras are rolling, brother. See? Get down on that 3-point stance. Really what it is. Get that strong leg up and just pop out, explode. You know.
But it's fun to see though too. It's fun to see. It's fun to be a part of. If I'm able to be a part of it, anything. But that's my whole point. It's like, bro, most known podcasts that we know of are usually in LA. And like, why can't we have a major podcast platform in the Bay Area? People like to come down here.
You know, no one's saying you can't, you know.
It just hasn't been done.
I think your show's going to do well this year. I think it's going to do really well.
I hope and pray.
Yeah, no, I mean, the studio looks great.
Thank you, man.
You're always getting better at this. You know, you're dedicated. We had a lot of adversity today, and you know, you felt like maybe like calling it quits, but you didn't. And I think that's it's just little things like that. That's what it
y'all
takes.
for just being patient, especially this man right here, because I'm always like changing shit up with this man. But I appreciate you. And then this is my homie Quagga,
Did you ever order that pizza, bro?
It's to the 39. It went to the 39.
No, he was talking about that was the wrong address.
We're not even gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it after though.
But yeah, no, bro. It's always been a pleasure, bro. We need to find ways to keep working, bro. Yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk a little bit, but yeah, bro. Anything else you want to say before we dip off? Mr. RJ the Nuts.
Damn, you know, you came back with the nickname again after I said I don't like it.
I just like it, bro. Like,
I don't know why.
I just picture like a massive ball sack, bro. So it's like RJ the Nut Stern, you know?
Yeah. You wildin'.
No homo though, no homo. Y'all be on some gay shit, bro.
No,
it's a human body part.
Hey, you the one who brought up the gay stuff. I didn't say shit, you know? Like, nah, do I have anything else to say?
For saying no homo. I'm sorry.
What's up?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Nah, say it with your chest. I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said I might get canceled.
You're not gonna get canceled.
For certain shit that I say, so I gotta be careful.
Nah, there's way more shit you could have said and didn't. You're fine. Way more shit you could have said and didn't. If I have anything else I want to say, I appreciate you invite me back on. Have a conversation. It's good to see you. Yeah, and if anybody hears this, I hope I said at least one thing that you agree with that you can use, and yeah, just don't be a dick. If I could say anything, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
All right?
That's it. Not even a little one or a big one. Nothing. No dick.
Hey, and if you are gonna be a dick, make sure it's big.
Whoa! All right, man, we gotta end this shit, bro.
We're just getting started.
RJ Stern, the Nut, Neighborhood Heroes. Let's get it.